Altered item number 58-KE, the Get Well Balloon. The item was originally contained on March 22nd, 2004, and is currently being contained on the 5th floor of the Panopticon. At that time, there was a medical program being conducted at an unknown hospital, specifically the children's ward. While the exact nature of this program was not known, it involved therapy dogs intended to help comfort the sick children. While the details are fuzzy, the altered item appeared at the hospital. According to the description on the containment document, quote, "Item is a novelty balloon made of silver mylar. On its face is a colorful message to get well, surrounded by cartoon hearts." End quote. It sounds like something that could have been purchased from the hospital gift shop. No details were given on how this balloon was altered or the circumstances surrounding it appearing in the children's ward. Whether it is as a result of a nefarious field study or a complete accident caused by the collective focus of the hospital directed towards the sick children is not known. I will say that these emotions may be the psychic component surrounding the item's genesis. Who knows? During the incident, the therapy dogs became attracted to the balloon. It was noted that the dogs would jump at the balloon and lick it. After this incident, the children that resided in this ward witnessed the dogs wandering the halls at night and howling in a low pitch, almost like they were singing. Several days later, the dogs were found dead with a dark substance leaking from their orifices. The Bureau was brought in after the CDC was called. This is another situation of the FBC having inroads to various government agencies and intercepting the call. After being contained, the only observed altered effect is that it produces a dark, sticky substance which drips down the ribbon. Even after being contained in a black rock cell, the object continues to act up. The cell is required to be cleaned up every so often and the substance disposed of, presumably burned. Interjection. The theory behind black rock is that it blocks certain paranatural frequencies. In practice, this prevents the altered item from acting up. Since we see this fail in the case of AI-58, it begs the question, which specific frequencies does it block and which ones are unaffected? What is the frequency for this specific altered item, and what does that even mean? AI-54 does not act up when kept in a black rock cell. This paranatural material is shown to dampen the effects of AI-31, but not eliminate it, and it has no effect on the Get Well balloon. This brings me to another thought. Would this imply that the source of an altered item's power is somewhere outside of itself? It is not the proximity to Blackrock that stopped other items' abilities to act up. Placing the item outside of the cell does nothing to block its effects. Only when it is surrounded on all sides does Blackrock work in some cases. I could be crazy here, but if the altered item is a housing of paranatural forces, the body, so to speak, where do these forces come from? If they are blocked by the cell walls, it seems to be that there is a signal coming from somewhere that animates the altered item. Placing Blackrock in the signal's path stops the effects for some items based upon the specific frequency of the said signal, like a cell phone being a receiver for data sent by a satellite in space. Placing the phone in a Faraday cage blocks incoming and outgoing messages. The moment you take the phone back out, you see all the missed calls now that the signal is unimpeded. Given this principle, would it be too out of left field to presume that objects themselves are just vessels that resonate with a specific paranatural frequency that is being broadcast from somewhere unknown? Blackrock can block some signals, which is why the object stops functioning, just like being stuck in a Faraday cage. If any research has been done on this, I haven't seen it. Now that I think about it, research proposal. A range of resonances has been previously determined. According to a paper entitled Utilization of Paranatural Elements, Blackrock, quote, "This report will examine how its very structure is comprised of density that nullifies all resonances within a range of 2 Hz, end quote. If we know what wavelengths it can block, we can determine the Hertz range of the altered item signals. By focusing on the ones that cease acting up when in the cell versus those that don't, we can quantify an approximate resonance range for certain items. From there, isolating the wavelength itself is possible. With that, the source could be inferred. As is the usual, additional information on the incident at the hospital would be appreciated. and would assist in the findings of this report. What happened to the children in the ward who witnessed this? Did they recover quicker, or was there no change for them? The nature of this dark substance or why the dogs were attracted to it is unknown. As far as I can tell, it was never tested. It seems unlikely that there is zero connection between them. Rumination. I'm starting to see the patterns here. Not just with this item, but why I'm even looking at it in the first place. When this file showed up as the next on my desk, I thought it was some kind of joke. Like, the universe is talking to me through my work. Just a day after my mandatory meeting with the doc, I see an item that tells me to get well. They say I'm paranoid, as if that is something that those two words can fix. Call it intuition, a hunch, or a wild-ass guess. But the link between AI-58's physical vessel and it appearing in a hospital seems off. Why do we give get-well balloons to our loved ones? Do we really believe that this ritualistic act can pass on some kind of healing benefit? Before I came to work here, I would have said that it makes both giver and receiver emotionally feel better, but that's it. No magic healing here. But if this symbol of the balloon and the words on it are to be altered, why not? We've seen weirder things. If we at least knew if the kids got better after the dead dog incident, we would have something to go on. Are these field guys that incompetent? A black substance, therapy dogs consuming it and dying? If we saw the kids recover, it would seem like a case of a sin eater, one who transfers the illness from one body to another, the black substance being a physical manifestation of it, absorbed by the balloon from the kids and transferred to another being. There's absolutely zero evidence for this, of course. That one bit of damn data would put this intrusive thought to rest. Of course, these are just the patterns I see which have no basis in reality, or so I'm told. It seems to be all I do these days. See patterns that no one else does. Maybe I am crazy. If maladies of the mind is an illness, what would mine look like? Could it be removed? Or am I just letting them convince me I have a problem and need it to get well? You're not paranoid if they really are following you.